All right. Hello, hello. Good evening, or should I say good morning? This is my very first stream, and I will admit I'm a little nervous. But how is everyone doing today? I am doing as good as I can be. 2025 has not been good for the health of my family. Everybody's been a little bit sick. I've managed to get my way through it with just a little bit of a sore throat. But I'm feeling good and ready to start this new video. So today I thought we could do a little bit of work on my new banner. It's a rough sketch, but I have a couple ideas, and this is just one of them I thought it would be nice to explore. Now you're probably wondering about the title, a 2025 art review. We will get to that. Because as a year comes to a close, I like to explore a little bit of the aspects of what I achieved over the year. And in doing so, we can look back and see what I liked and what I didn't like. And I don't know, maybe you can learn a thing or two from it as well. I hope so. But to start, we are just going to do a little bit of drawing. To use this new headspace. Like I mentioned a bit previously, 2025 has been an eventful year, to say the least. Not so much art-wise, than it has been life. For my art, it has relatively stayed the same. I would have preferred it to maybe improve a little bit, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I'm happy with the way it's turned out thus far. My life, though, it's been feeling a little bit stuck. Going in circles, people getting sick, stuff breaking. 2025 has been a bit of a hurdle. Yeah, well, you know what they say about hurdles. You gotta get through them and jump them. And now 2025 is finally coming to a close. His fur tuft is getting in the way. Yeah, looks fine. Okay, so art in 2026. My goals? Well, I would like to be more efficient going into 2026. As one of my biggest issues was the idea that my art took sometimes months, even a year to complete. And while I'm glad that I have gotten something to show this year, I almost didn't, because how long it took to throw together. And now there's nothing wrong with art taking a long time. If your art takes months or even years to finish, that is fine. That is completely okay. But if you would like to make art like publicly, like YouTube videos, Tumblr posts, what is the new one? Blue Sky Pictures? You need a consistent upload schedule. And you can't have that unless you have art done at a relatively okay pace. I'm not saying you should rush your art. I'm just saying you need to either A, have a backlog of artwork you have already completed so that you can share it with an audience, or you can do what I did, which I don't recommend, and work on everything last minute and try to throw something together in a month. And believe it or not, it took a month for most of these projects. Sorry, I'm balancing several things over here. They never told you how much stuff you're going to need to stream. I have like 3 screens running right now, just to make sure everything's still operating. What is something you would like to improve in 2026? I mentioned something about efficiency, but I would also like to improve my overall storytelling and narrative. As while I do love making these projects and sharing bits of the story, I feel like I haven't quite delivered on my promises when it comes to a full lore package, if you will. What is these characters' stories? What is their goals? What do they want? What are they afraid of? All that stuff. And I feel like my videos don't quite reflect that in 2025, and it may have something to do with me rushing them last minute. And I would like to avoid doing that in 2026. I want to take my time. I want to give you all a project worth the time and effort I think's put into it, as well as what I think you all deserve when it comes to a story. Now, if anyone's curious, the man that I am drawing right now, this is Remus. He is the oldest character in the banner currently of all my other characters. I've had him since the end of high school, and his story has changed a lot since the first drafts of what I wanted him to be. Funny enough, 2025 was a big turning point in his backstory. Originally, I didn't know what I wanted from him. I didn't know who he was, apart from the friend of my other main character, Kanu. There are some things I can't share as they are in the main story. However, I wasn't happy with the direction he was taking. It just felt like he was sidelined, that he wasn't really there, apart from just being an interesting face to look at. So that changed. And halfway through 2025, I gave him a bit of a background, some more story, and began adding layers onto his character. Which gave us Remus we have now, who, while not complete, in going into 2026, I'm going to completely rewrite him and Kanu as a whole. But I feel like he's really kind of come out as a, not necessarily a mean character or one of those lovable jerks. I feel like he's more of a internally hurt character, and some of those emotions reflect outwardly. And while he is very friendly with Kanu and makes an effort to humor his ideas of this past that Remus doesn't remember, I do think, though, that part of Remus still holds on to this resentment, if you will. This anger of what was taken away from him and what he can't remember himself. Hopefully we'll have more on that in 2026, because that's all I got in 2025. Let's check and see what he looks like. So he looks all right. Okay, let's move on to Kanu. Kanu is the other main character in my story with Remus. The working name was Wolkas of the Stone. It's still the running name. But as the story progresses, I will admit I have been wondering about changing the name. But it's become such a big part of the overall brand, if you will, I have a hard time changing it.
Are you looking for effective?
Oh, our first ad.
In Charleston, West Virginia? At Christian
Yeah, if you didn't know, I can't be bothered to buy a full version of this Spotify.
That's why we offer affordable rates and accept most major insurance plans. If you are ready to take the first step towards healing and growth, give us a call today at 304-451-0677.
What do you think, guys? You interested? I'm not really. But yeah, I had to use a free version of Spotify, so there's gonna be some ads every now and then. We'll just have to put up with them. Yeah, Kanu. He is my second oldest character. I made him after Remus, and funny enough, he became the actual main drive of the story. And in 2025, I had started making slight changes to his story, but I don't think it changed enough to warrant the entire rewrite that Remus had. I think a lot of Kanu stayed the same. I think the only thing that changed in 2025 was the idea that he became more of a coward. Kind of a weak, I'm afraid kind of character. While I don't think it truly defines him, I do think it shows the layer of shelteredness that Kanu did have that I wanted to portray, but wasn't all that sure several years ago. Yeah, if you have old characters like this, these guys are probably like, what are they? 4 or 5 years old now? If you have old characters, it's completely okay to revamp them, to do an entire gutting and changing of the characters' arcs and bringing them back and renewing them. That is completely okay. I see nothing wrong with reusing old characters. If anything, as you improve, your stories will improve as well. And so will your characters, your art, and thus forth. I am one of those people that could not let go of Kanu and Remus. Even after years of having the same story, going back and forth, I kept them. And I'm quite happy with how the narrative, or rather story, is turning out right now. Excuse me, I had to get a drink of coffee. It is a caramel macchiato. Nothing fancy though, I can't afford that Starbucks drinks, it's a homemade one. Yeah, Kanu didn't change much. He's always been one of my more favorite characters. Now, I don't think he takes the place of Shaba, one of my female characters in The Wolves of the Stone. I don't think he takes her place because, let's be honest, nothing can replace Shaba. Shaba's amazing. But I always liked Kanu's design. Though for the longest time growing up, I wanted a big, fluffy character that you could actually tell he was fluffy and wasn't wearing, like, I don't know, a really big jacket or something. I wanted an actual fluffy character, and I think Kanu achieved that in every way I would like him to. Alright, let's check Kanu real quick. Ooh, he's a little bent. Let's fix that. Tip of the day, always flip your canvas. When you don't flip it, you don't see that the character is weirdly slanted. Now, I don't do it the way you're supposed to. I think some artists actually flip it back and forth while they're drawing. I've done that before, but I just feel like that kind of slows me down a little bit. I would like to change that, but at the moment, this is what I'm comfortable with. Alright, let's move on to my third character. Now, he is entirely separate from the Wolkas of the Stone. He has his own story under the name Ivar. And it's not actually spelled in all capitals as I've been presenting it this year, but I just like how it looks in all capitals. I just think it gives him gives off the vibe of which I want Clay to give, this kind of loud-spoken action hero that doesn't take time to sit down. So, yeah, 2025 was a big year for Clay. Now, I didn't make as much videos as I would like with him. A lot of them, one of them took over a year. Oh, hey! Sorry if I butcher your name. Moth or Devil. Moth or Devil, there it is. Nice to meet you. We are in the middle of drawing Clay. Something I'm going to struggle with today. Names. I can barely do real life names, and now I gotta do YouTube names. Bear with me. Yeah, Clay had a big year in... Aw, thank you. Yeah, Clay had a big year in 2025. I finally got in a direction I wanted his story to be. And while I haven't got all the pieces working together, I believe I am finally on a direction for 2026. And that would be a comic. I had the idea for my characters in Wolkas of the Stone, Remus and Kanu, but it just really never felt like it was a visual story, if that makes sense. If you've ever wondered if your story should be a book or a comic or, I don't know, maybe just pictures, it's kind of good to look at them that way. Do you see the story better told visually? Or do you like the idea of getting a deeper and closer look at their internal thoughts? If that's the case, write a book. But if you feel like visually the story could be told better, like, action and villain versus hero, then you probably should choose a comic instead. But, that's just my take. You can do whatever you want. I picked a comic for Clay. Gotta redo that arm real quick. Yeah, 2025 was when I finally learned to draw humans, and while they're not perfect, and I'm not gonna claim them to be, I am at least happy with how they've been turning out as of lately. Yeah, going into 2026, I think I'm really gonna start looking more into using Clay and his friend, Alistair, more on the channel. I think that's something I would like to look into. If there's something you all would like to look at more, maybe whether it be Wolkas of the Stone, Ivar, whatever, feel free to let me know. I'm open to suggestions. Gotta build up my idea lists for new videos. This is surprisingly running well than I thought. They don't really tell you how to stream from an iPad. Oh yeah, if you didn't know, I'm drawing with an iPad. And it is hard to find a streaming software for an iPad that isn't like really, really expensive. I'm usually quite skeptical of free things, but this has worked so well so far. It's a little laggy in my opinion, but... you know, we can put up with laggy for a little bit. I'm making a mental note. 2026. Clay is getting a new design. Don't know when, don't know what month, but he needs a more clear design. I have just been very unhappy in 2025 with how he looks. I feel like it's a little too simple. I mean, there's nothing wrong with simplifying your design. If you need to simplify your design to draw the character quicker for a comic, that is okay. But to me, Clay has always felt like his design was really outplaced when compared to the other characters. And in fairness, it was like the first one I've ever designed, so that might have something to do with it. And I'm not looking to have a full-blown superhero design. Like, you know, we always see in the movies and the comics, but I want something that I can repeat easily over and over again, while also looking nice when in comparison to the other character. Speaking of our other character, time to draw Alistair, Clay's friend. And I'm going to be completely honest right now. I think 2025 was a good year for Alistair. Not so good for me on the channel. I felt like I drew him way too much. And while I will admit I do love him, he's a very interesting character, I really wanted to talk more about Clay. I mean, the first video to come out in 2025 was an Alistair video, and I think that kind of set up the year to show a lot of him and learn more about him, and I guess that's fine. I just like all my characters having a little moment in the spotlight, you know? Whoops, I accidentally bumped the mic. He kind of, I mean, Alistair kind of has the same issues as Clay when it comes into design. Maybe not as much. I like his design. I think it's really cool. However, he does have these gigantic wings. I mean, huge wings. Because I said all those years ago when I made him that I want him to be accurate. if a human had wings, they had to be really big, or else otherwise he wouldn't be able to get off the ground. And this is still very much true, but as a result, it takes forever to draw his wings. If you have any suggestions on how to make them, I don't know, more efficient, draw them smaller shapes, please let me know. It'd be very helpful. Need more coffee. Yeah, but aside from his wings, I think overall, Alistair has one of the better designs of the characters. I mean, this is to not include the other one, Clover. I think she looks nice, but I'm biased here. I've always loved deer. Deer, wolves, and a little bit of cats, more specifically lions, have been some of my favorite animals. Honestly, just take one look at the channel and you'll realize, oh wow, they love deer. Little note, if you hear any background noise, there is currently a kitten sleeping in here somewhere. It's a foster kitten my family took in around somewhere at the beginning of October. Fun fact, we found him literally dumped at the side of our house. I don't know where he came from. We don't know what happened. Our neighbor, okay, let me set the scene. We had just woken up and I used to feed the stray cats. There was one, a black and white cat we named Cookie. She had recently had kittens. I knew she had kittens. You could tell visually that she had kittens. But I never did see the kittens. It was till that day when our neighbor came out and let us know that she saw 2 kittens by the side of the road. I didn't know what they looked like. She didn't tell me what they looked like. But cat. But anyway, but she said one of them had unfortunately passed away. And the second one she had put in a box for safekeeping. We told her who we think the mom is. She went to go get the kitten. But nope. The ads have broken into our story.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds? Birds? What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Oh yeah, I use Procreate.
For details.
Hi, hello. Tiny Sweet Night. It's good to see you. Anyway, back to the story. She went looking for the kitten. She didn't find it. And that morning, thankfully, we saw a little kitten, a cream-colored kitten, hiding under our car. And the black and white cat Cookie had found it. I don't know if she was the mother per se. We've been going off the assumption that she was the mother. But yeah, we let our neighbor know that we think the kitten and the mom are back together again. And that would have been where the story ended. However, later that... Oh, there's a kitten screaming. Later that evening, I was thinking about the kitten. I was thinking about the mom because the mom was looking really bad. She was very skinny. So I decided, me and my sister, we went out and looked for the kitten to see if we could find it, because we knew it was still under the car. It was sitting under the car for the majority of the day. Well, when we went out there, we found the mom. The mom was hanging out begging for food, and she was crying on our porch, walking back and forth, just wailing. I thought she was hungry, so I offered her food. She did not accept the food. She just kept on crying. So now we're worried. We're looking for the kitten. We're going to the car, we're looking up the road, we're walking up and down the street. Nothing. Can't find the kitten. I'm worried because the sibling's already gone. I'm worried thinking it had, I don't know, car incident, dogs, because there are stray dogs, stray cats everywhere. I was terrified for the kitten. My sister turned the corner, and there he was, the tiny little kitten curled up on the side of the house. I would have left him with his mom. Trust me, I would have. But he was sick. He wasn't moving. His eye was... I thought it was gone because it was shut and not opening. I thought he had lost his eye. So we had to make the choice between leaving him with his mom and hope for the best, or removing him to see if he'll get any better. We were not sure he was going to live. I wanted to take the mom too. We just did not have the space and did not have the time and energy to take both of them in. I don't think, though, she really wanted the kitten, though, because she didn't do anything when we went near the kitten. She just kind of stared at us and even came up to us and didn't do anything. So yeah, that's the story of how we came across our foster kitten. His name is Champion. Because the minute I picked him up and put him in a carrier, he was fighting me and would continue to fight me for the next few days. Champion didn't give up. And now he's still here. He should be going to a new home soon, though. And while I am sad, I am happy that he found someone that is very, very excited. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. He's very cute. I wish I could show a picture of him. Oh goodness, this wing needs adjusting. Yeah, back to the art review. I think in 2026, when it comes to Alistair's character, aside from character design, I would like to work a bit more on his story. As while I do enjoy it, I feel like bits of it aren't going to come across the way I want unless I adjust them. And that's extremely important because I have some animatics planned for him next year. And I'm super excited. But I want to make sure you all are getting the full story. Let's draw the rest of Alistair. Yeah, as soon as I finish this line art, we'll get started on our actual reviewing of some of the footage I have kept from the other art projects. It is very much a mood. Let me just share for a second something that I have never, well, aside from his wings, I have never liked about Alistair. I do not care for bird feet. The talons, the weird joint in their leg. I have spent the last, how long has it been? Almost 3 years drawing them. And I sometimes still don't feel like I know anything about bird anatomy. It's 1 minute you're drawing a normal leg. Oh yeah, exactly. It's a curse. You want to draw this really cool character, and I'm like, I want to base him off a bird. Well, joke's on you. Birds have weird legs. And if you want anybody to actually recognize it as a bird, you better draw it like a bird. Deer are the same way, in fairness. They got that weird foot. I still can't draw the foot. Except with deer, they don't have the talons. You ever looked at a picture? And I hope you're looking at pictures when you draw a character. You need references. But if you ever looked at a picture of a bird, they have really, really big feet. And this is all entirely because they need to land. Oh, the kitten is crying. What do you want, little boy? Oh, he's being very sweet. Hi. I can't play with you right now. Oh dear. Time to draw a deer. That's what I feel like every time I draw deers. I think something that helped me when I drew my deer characters and bird characters is not to think too hard on the whole aspect of getting them 100% right. I think as long as you have something that looks like a bird foot or looks like a deer's hoof, most people aren't going to question it. I mean, I might a little bit, but I'm not going to hold anyone accountable for it because I know how difficult it is to draw them. Oh, hey, sarcastic feline. I am doing all right. How are you? Nope. I'll be right back. There is a kitten crying. What you doing, little boy? I'm gonna see if the kitten wants to cuddle. Yeah, horses. I have not dabbled in horses yet. I would love to. A new goal for 2026. I would love to dabble in horses a little bit. Learn to draw a horse. But you're right, Tiny Sweet Night. They have horribly shaped legs. Looks so easy. But it's that joint. The kitten did not want cuddled. You know a good horse movie? Spirit. That is an amazing horse movie. If you have not seen it, I recommend seeing it. If you want to see good drawn horses, Spirit is the movie to watch. I think animators everywhere should see Spirit, personally. Oh my goodness, kitten's crying. Spirit is such a good movie. You haven't? You need to see it. It is such a good movie. I don't know where you could watch it anymore. It's an old film, but you need to see it. It is a good film. Okay, apologies for the sound in the background. Kitten's probably going to be crying for a little bit. It's almost time for him to go play. Oh yes, a new pain with bird wings. Gotta lose this beautiful anatomy I drew underneath Alistair. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of congestion in my throat. You know, like any creature in... Thank you, Sarcastic. Yeah, like any creature in art, a good general rule of thumb is just keep practicing. That would be my advice with drawing new animals. And if you want to pursue a new animal next year, I would love to hear about it. If any of you want to pursue a new animal, references and lots of practice. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's crying. Oh my goodness, that wing doesn't have enough feathers. Take the sketches down and see how they look. Looking all right. Let me just check the frames and we will get on to my review. I think Alistair looks fine. I'm a little worried about Clay. Oh no, I think he turned out all right. Excuse my drawings and such. I wanted to quickly go over some of these. Oh, there's a kitten on my head. Hey, you. This broadcast has been interrupted by kittens. Okay, so these are all the videos that had made it on the channel in 2025. The first being Who I'd Be, an OC animatic using a song from that Shrek Broadway. My goodness, child, you're so loud. Sorry, more kitten screaming. Yeah, Who I'd Be to this day took the longest of any project I've ever worked on. I think I said 1.5 years in its description. Yeah, 1.5 years to make this. I finished the storyboard. I finished the storyboard in October 6th of 2023. These are going to be some behind the scenes. Get ready. Get to look, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Are you looking for effective,
Oh, we got more
affordable
ads.
counseling in Charleston, West Virginia? At Christian Counseling Associates, we believe that everyone deserves access to quality mental health care, regardless of their financial situation. That's why we offer affordable rates and accept most major insurance plans. If you are ready to take the first step towards healing and growth, give us a call today at 304 451 0677.
Spotify seems convinced I have mental issues. I guess it knows artists a little too well, apparently. We're shut-ins. Alright. So these are the storyboards to Who I'd Be, made in October 2023. They are as rough as they can get. I mean, sometimes Alistair wasn't even drawn with eyes. I drew dots. Yeah, I put the lyrics at the top and made a picture in the bottom. This was before I put my storyboards on a different art site as to not use Procreate constantly. Yeah, but I recommend before starting any animatic to make a storyboard. Even if it is as rough cut as these. As these help you put a project together. One of the things that made Who I'd Be take so long was a little mixture of procrastination and a very, very complicated idea. Oh, my storyboards? I use a old app. I mean old. I got it several years ago. Called Sketchbook. It used to be called Auto Sketchbook, but now it's just called Sketchbook. The free version lets you do little sketches and has a fill bucket tool with a gradient. That gradient saves me so much time, whereas Procreate doesn't have a fill bucket gradient. Instead, you have to make it yourself, which just takes extra time. Sketchbook allows me to, well, I don't know if we'll see it here. I don't think so, but it helps me when I need to get idea of my color schemes, like this shot here with the shadow. I could have used the fill bucket. Yeah, it was a nice app. I liked it until, they got that premium version. I don't care for it. The free version still does everything I need. I just needed a step up, so I just got this, and it only had one price, so I didn't think about it. Don't need nothing special. Oh, there's another kitten on my head. Hi. Oh no, there's a kitten on the desk. Get off. Kitten sabotage. Oh, whoops, my bad. Let's go back to the storyboard. So yeah, Who I'd Be was a good example of a project that had a little bit too much detail. Both of those, Tiny Sweet Night, I think are good drawing apps. They do everything you need to without having to worry about expensive prices. I mean, I think Procreate's a little bit more expensive now than it used to be, but I still think it's worth it if you want to do art in 2026. I still think it's worth it. Okay, so now that's a storyboard, and here's the finished version. This is what I was meaning by a project that was way too complex. I still like how it looks, and I am still looking to, of course, make my animatics a bit more simple, but you do not need an animatic that looks like this if you're starting out. This will take too long, takes too much work, and frankly, while I think it turned out alright, I wish it didn't take me 1.5 years just to get it done. I mean, it didn't even come out until March. Well, the video here says March 1st. I'm not so sure about that. It might be, though. I could have swore it came out in February, personally, but I don't know. My memory has not been the same what it used to be. I mean, just look at some of the backgrounds in Who I'd Be. While I am absolutely in love with them, they just took way too long. Oh, thank you, Tiny Sweet Knight. Yeah, I think it was how we met, was the Who I'd Be animatic. Yeah, if you're looking to make animatics or even start making projects like this in 2026, a simple sketch style, like if you were to do, let's use this shot for example. If you were to make a picture of this shot, you don't have to do all this shading or even shade your backgrounds. It could be a white canvas with just a little bit of color gradient. I'd recommend a color gradient. If you don't know what that is, it's the difference between why Alistair is kind of a light gray, like almost white, and the background boxes over here are dark gray. That's really all I would recommend. It doesn't even have to be layered like this. It could just be two. Background lighter than characters, or character lighter than background. As I think that really helps the characters stand off their background and don't look the same. I think it helps visually. Now, remember when I said procrastination was one of the reasons why this didn't get finished? It was around this ending half that I took on the project of, I think it was Welcome to the Internet, my Wolcas of the Stone animatic. I had taken that project on and had turned all focus there because I was too afraid to touch this shot of Alistair coming down from the ladder. I was terrified of the wings. I was terrified of the movement that was all going to come up in the next shots. Just did not want to touch it. So I stayed away from it and worked on the other project, which turned out to also be extremely complicated. Yeah, going into 2026, I want to make animatics not simple, as I do like the look of this, but find a way to tone it down and dial it back so that it would be a little bit easier to replicate. Yeah, so expect more from these characters as well as animatics like this in 2026. As I think I'm going to be moving towards a more animatic-centered channel. Okay, After Who I'd Be was my first animation lip sync test in a long time. I have not made one of these since I was in school. Oh my goodness. Kitten's crying. I might have to get my sister to let him out here pretty soon because he is getting restless. But yeah, I haven't made one of these since I was in school. And this one, I decided, because the How to Train Your Dragon remake was coming out, I decided to use the original audio because the original is better, in my opinion, to make a cute little animation between Alistair and Clay. I think it both captured the energy of the characters as well as allowed me to really push my animations. And fun fact, I think it was made, or rather started, before Who I'd Be was done, but it didn't finish, obviously. It's currently in the middle of constructing the piece while Who I'd Be was finishing. Oh, she's come for the kitten. Should be any moment now he'll be gone and we can continue in peace without the screaming child. Oh, he's gone. So yeah, the lip sync test. Okay, what's the difference between animatics and storyboards? I've noticed you do a lot of animations in animatics rather than focusing on keyframes. If that makes sense. Well, I think a storyboard to me is something like this, where it's a frame for frame and just kind of sets up the scene. Like, his hand's here, I want to see his reaction to what it was. While an animatic would probably actually look more like this, personally, sketchy and not a lot of detail. That's the actual definition of an animatic. I made these and called them animatics, while they could be bounced back and forth between animation, animatic. I call my Atomatic because, well, one, YouTube algorithm likes the word Atomatic. And two, the idea that it's not polished. While it looks really nice and it has nice detail and lighting and shading and backgrounds, you might call it polished, but to me, the animation isn't fluid. This is fluid animation, but rough. So you could call this both an animation and an animatic. An animatic is an unfinished work. An animation can be both, but I think personally an animatic is defined as a full piece. Something that you say is done and has fluent animation. That's what it is to me. Okay, after April 1st, this video, which was this one, we had the Shaba project with Syria. This was a ending half to a 3-part series. And it also took 2 months to finish. Now, it didn't take a year, thankfully, but it took about a month to finish. Or 2 months, I mean. My bad. And that would have something to do with the idea that I was trying to push the animations a little bit more in it, while retaining that rough animatic look, but also adding a little bit of fluency, like for the tail movements, the way her mother's comforting her, and the way her father comes into the room. And again, if you make an animatic, you do not have to have fluid animations. It's in the name, animatic. It's an unfinished animation. It's allowed to be cut. It's allowed to be kind of choppy. And if still frames is all you can do like a storyboard, go ahead and do a storyboard. That works too. I think they still get the story across. In this part, something I didn't like about this compared to the others was, since I was experimenting with animation at the time, Syria's project got really choppy, if that makes sense. I don't think you can see it too well without the audio playing, and I can't play it for copyright reasons. But I just think it's like really quick paced and a little rough. And while I adore the characters a lot, I felt like this could have been, what's a good word for it? Presented better, maybe. More fluent, better narrative, I don't know. And it's one of the reasons that pushed me to a later animation to practice my timing in animation. Like, can I pace better? It's one of the reasons why I gave that a shot. But yeah, overall, happy with how that turned out. Have lots of plans for Syria and Shaba going into 2026. We might even hear from them again. Who knows? Okay, after them would be my project of the Just Take My Wallet OC PMV. This was the whip that came out before it, because again, the project took a long time in space. Now this one's understandable for how it took so long. I have not made anything colored maybe in a year or so. I haven't made anything colored because most of my stuff now is animatics, and I do like animatics. I think they're really good for storytelling. But I really wanted to do a PMV again. Something that I can show my artistic improvement compared to what I used to have in small animations. Like, and I mean, yeah, my animation memes. Yeah, I used to make animation memes. Who knows where those went off to? Anyone else notice how big those were a couple years ago? They've really fallen off the world for whatever reason. I miss them personally because one, they were so low effort, but I'm not saying they were bad. Some animation memes were amazing. Just I haven't seen much of them lately. But yeah, the OCA PMV. This was the first time I actually really looked into Remus and actually explored his in-depth character. Sorry, I had to check something. But yeah, but really explored his in-depth character and relationship with those in his family. I think personally it could have been better paced as well, because now I'm conscious of the animation pacing, so I'm never gonna unsee it. Oh yes, Tiny Sweet Night. They are very fun to do. I love animation memes. Other than PMVs. I love them so much. I want to make more colored stuff so badly. I just don't got the time no more. I mean, this took, again, I think 2 months. And I'm trying to create myself a backlog of animations for the next year. And PMVs and animations that are colored are just not for me right now. They just take so long. Doesn't mean we won't hear from this again. I actually would love to do some more. I would love to do some more of these. But yeah, what I liked and what I didn't like. I really like the colors. I think some of them look really nice. I like how the designs of Remus's parents, well, adoptive parents, came out. I put a lot of effort in trying to actually express some character where she's meant to look kind of shaggy and lazy, and his... Oh, we got another ad. What's this one about?
Enjoy a Coca-Cola, refresh your holidays. Copyright 2025, the Coca-Cola Company.
Oh, ew, it's that AI commercial. We do not tolerate AI here. If you like AI, well, it's not art. Sorry. I just don't think it's art. I'm sorry. Where was I? Oh yeah, I like the design of this mother and father. Oh, thank you, Tiny Sweet Night. I really did like the expressions that came out in this one. And that was kind of what I was aiming for, was to be able to feel emotion and direction in the characters. I really wanted to capture the energy of each individual personality. And I think I did that well. Like, let's go look at his father. There he is. Some of the key elements of character design, I think, is to think first about your personality. I wanted him to be kind of, not necessarily a bully, but, no puns intended, he's based off a bull. But, no, not really a bully, but like an arrogant, proud man who takes pride in his achievements and wants the same for his son, Ozias, but not necessarily for Remus. So, I didn't want to paint him like they do in the Disney movies, where they're really obviously a villain, because he's not a villain, he just doesn't like Remus. That might make him antagonistic, but it doesn't make him a villain. So, he has some sharpness. Yeah, stoic, that's good. Stoic's a good word. But yeah, he has some sharpness in his jaw and the cheekbone right here of the fur. You'll notice that it kind of comes to a square point around his nose, because I wanted to give off that strong look still, while retaining this kind of almost ugliness inside him. His tail, fun fact, has been bitten off. Or something. That's why it's all broken at the end. He doesn't have a tail no more. And his mane in the back is really sharp. Meanwhile, Remus's mother, adoptive mother, there she is round, her hair droops, and the jaw kind of comes forward to give this almost pouty look. I wanted her to look almost depressed, where she just doesn't do much no more. Lazy, it might be a good word for it. Yeah, I think I did an okay job. What I didn't like about the project is pacing. Some of the visuals, in my opinion, don't work. And some of them just don't capture what I like about the character. I mean, this angle looks off to me. And I believe the transition here could have been smoother. But yeah, 2026, looking forward to making more colored projects. That would be something I would love to see come to the channel. Okay, after this one was my animation, again, from How to Train Your Dragon, the first movie, not the remake. I made this one with 2 new characters. One has seen the channel a couple times, the other one no one has saw, and her name is Pearl Carter. I am still deciding what her role is 100% in the story of Ivar. But I think this did a great job of introducing her, where she's a rule follower. She goes by what her father told her, how to behave and all that fun stuff. I think she really fits the actual character Stoic in How to Train Your Dragon really well. I think it's a great representation of who she is as a person. Her friend Clover, in this sense, has known Pearl so long that this is normal behavior from her. Now, something I didn't like about this project, well, aside from YouTube editing it with that weird filter they have now, I don't care for what they did to the quality. Sorry, I bumped the mic again. But yeah, I don't care for that. One of the things I did not like was the hair. While I do appreciate how it came out, I think it looks nice. But it took way too long. I'm definitely not doing it again, and has places where it's uneven. If I was to redo it, I would probably find a different way of coloring her hair. Something else I didn't like were some of the perspective shots. I feel like I messed them up in a couple areas where it's not all clear where the camera is or where it's going. I mean, look at the first shot. The camera is supposed to be looking over a table, but the corners look off just slightly. And the roof is coming to a weird point. It was an attempt at foreground, and while I think it got the foreground element correct, I don't think it got the angle 100% down, and it's something I would look forward to improving upon. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this short animation. I got a lot to say about the next one. This one was what I made of Alistair in clay. It's a very short one, no background, just to play with the mouth movements of Alistair's large teeth. Fun fact about this one, I did not have an Apple Pencil. It had died. Well, the story behind it's a little weird, but let's just sum it up as I left it on the bed on accident. My sister was doing laundry, and it got chucked into the washer and dryer. Yeah, no surprise there, it wasn't working. So for this animation, all I had was my finger, and I think for the quality I had at my exposal. Yeah, what I had in my exposure, this was all I had with my finger, and I think it came out alright, personally. It's rough. It's not clean. But I think it turned out alright. So yeah, the lesson here is, if you want to make animations without an Apple Pencil, like if you can't afford one or you don't have one, you can totally do it with your finger. I could totally make a whole project like this. It would take forever and I'd probably be in tears, but I could do it. So I don't think the equipment should stop you from making a project. If you have something in mind, whether it be an animatic, a PMV, an animation, you should just go for it. Having these tools make it easier and might make it look nicer. But I think sometimes all you just need is to take that step, that first step, and just do it. Okay, after this animation, we have the last project of 2025. I Always Wanted a Brother OC animatic. Oh, thank you. Happy holidays and New Year's to you too, Tiny Sweet Night. Excuse me. More congestion. It was good seeing you. Now, the I Always Wanted a Brother OC animatic was very special. This project, unlike my other animatics, had a time limit. I only had 24 hours to complete it. That being said, I think I got a lot done I didn't think it was a lot, but apparently a lot of people seem to disagree with me. They're like, "Whoa, that looks amazing," and while I appreciate the compliments, as an artist, I'm still always gonna see the flaws. It's a curse being an artist. But I am absolutely appreciate your guys' support and wonderful comments. They mean a lot to me. But yeah, the animatic only had 24 hours to be completed. And we got about to the 15-second mark before I had to put the pencil down and upload what I had. Something I loved about this, as it was an experiment to try and get better at my pacing, was I really like how the animations actually stayed on time for the first in a long time. I think one thing I don't like, though, was one, the still scene. It was supposed to have a transition where the sun was supposed to go across the sky, representing a time shift. But obviously that didn't make it in because I didn't get to it. But yeah, I think this project was alright. I don't care for how it ends. I feel like the animation of Remus looks weird in the background. I think he has this weird lump in his neck. Just don't think it looks exactly correct. But yeah, the first half, the parts I managed to color, I think they're alright. If I was to do it again, I would definitely sketch faster and maybe add a little less detail, because I didn't even follow my own philosophy. I mean, look at this shot. While the background might not have as heavy a gradient as the previous projects, this one was the one that took the longest, and most of my time was spent setting up the background for this piece. So yeah, 2026, expect quality animations, but maybe not the high definition quality we had of backgrounds, as I want to try focusing more on what I can make instead of the background that nobody's ever gonna see. But yeah, that closes off 2025's animation. I had one more video, but it's not really an animation, and it would be the detailed backstory behind what happened in the 24 OC animatic, but we don't need to look at that. It's not really any animation, it's just me talking about its creation. If you'd like to see how I made a 24-hour animatic, though, feel free to go look for the video on my channel. Oops. Need to find my pen. There it is. So 2025. It was a year. It was a difficult back and forth year. And while it might seem to some that it went fast, it might seem to others that it's been dragging, I learned a lot. I learned more about my animation, my pacing, my drawings, my art, and my story direction. A lot of stuff I'm going to be considering going forward. This stream was really fun. I had a lot of fun. It was good seeing you all who came, and it was good answering some questions. I think we'll call it here, though, as it's late. Thank you for everyone who came out and saw me while you're live. And if you're watching this and it's not live, don't worry, you can always still view my live streams here on the channel afterwards. So don't feel like you missed out. Anyway, keep making stories, and I'll see you maybe on my next live stream. I don't know when it's gonna be, though. I might aim for evening live streams. I'll let you all know in the community tab if you're curious. Might make a video on it. But yeah. Good. Bye. It was lovely seeing you all.